And joining me in the studio is Derek Thompson from France 24 Observers team. Now, your team, Derek, has been looking into the use of shotguns by security forces in Iran, and you've published an exclusive report which reveals that ammunition made in the European Union has been found in these protests.
That's right. We've been following very closely these protests since the beginning at the Observers. We follow amateur images, and we noticed from the beginning that shotguns were a weapon of choice by all of Iran's security services: the police, the riot police, the Basij, the IRGC, Revolutionary Guard, and we wanted to know more about them. So we asked our Persian-speaking journalist Ershad Alajani to look into that, and he came across this image. You see there a shotgun shell, and if you look closely on the right, you can see Shedit is written on the base of that shotgun shell. Now, Shedit is a Franco-Italian company that is a manufacturer of empty components for shotgun shells. And we wanted to know how this shell came to be found. It was recovered from a protest in the city of Yazd in central Iran. Ershad got in touch with the person who posted the picture, and the person said that he recovered it after a protest and after the security forces had used shotguns to repress the protests. The shotguns have had a horrible toll on Iranian protesters. When used at a distance, they will cause horrible injuries called birdshot injuries, which leave hundreds of holes through the body. Used close up, they can blind people. They're believed to have blinded hundreds of people, and they can kill. According to Amnesty International, at least 20 protesters have died because of shotgun blasts.
And your revelations have caused a huge reaction among Iranians, both inside the country and outside.
That's right, because what Ershad did is he asked his contacts in Iran, he put out a tweet asking them to send in used ammunition that they recover from the protests. And they found 13 Shedit shells. That infuriated people because there are supposed to be EU sanctions in place. One person he shared this article, and he sent this in. He says, according to 140 ophthalmologists, many of the teenagers taking part in the protests have been blinded by shotguns fired by the regime's oppressive forces. These cartridges were made by Shedit, a French-Italian company in the European Union. So Iranians are furious that some of these cartridges have been used, and they've been wounding Iranian young people. They're angry because there is a sanction in the European Union since 2011 that bans very specifically any export, directly or indirectly, of any equipment that could be used for repression in the protests. So that has infuriated people. Even in Tehran, people have picked up on this, and they're now talking about shotgun ammunition and shotgun cartridges. And we have a picture of a graffiti that is actually being reproduced on the walls of Iran. This graffiti says, so flu vaccines are banned under the embargo, but shotgun shells are okay. It's a reference to when medicines were banned by UN, US, and EU sanctions. People are furious that these are getting through, and they want answers.
And there are reactions in France as well, I understand.
That's right. We went to a demonstration last Sunday in Paris, and there were a few hundred Iranians there. And the woman on the podium, she wanted answers. She gave an emotional speech in which she said, "We have all seen the pellets in the bodies of our children. For those who don't know what these can do, it will cause hundreds of holes in their bodies. Do you know who made these shotgun shells? Shedit." So they want answers. She said that Franco-Iranians like her and other Iranians around the world in the diaspora want to know who is responsible for having sent these shotgun shells to Iran, how they got there, and they want to see people punished.
So these cartridges were not exported directly to Iran, right?
That's what it seems like. Now, of course, we've asked Shedit to tell us how they ended up in Iran. They've refused to talk to us. We've asked them many times. It appears that the most likely scenario is that they were exported from France or Italy to a third country and then to Iran. Now, we know that because the French Foreign Ministry has launched an investigation based on our revelations. They are looking into this, but they have told French MPs that according to initial indications, there was no violation of the embargo. We've spoken to 5 different experts who all say that this sanction passed in 2011 is very clear. It bans all export, direct or indirect exports, and the manufacturer has a responsibility for ensuring the security down the supply chain to the end user.
Derek Thompson, thank you for that. And you can watch the special report tonight at 8:15 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. here on France 24. And it will also be posted this evening on the Observer's site.